given the issues of national importance it raises. Order. Nick Fletcher to move the motion, please.
I beg to move that this House has considered e-petition 599985 and 633550 relating to local road user charging schemes. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship today, Mr. Singer. We are here today to discuss two petitions. The first petition seeks to revoke local government powers to charge clean air zones, low emission zones and ultra low emission zones. And the second is to amend the 1999 GLA Act to remove the Mayor of London's power to impose road user charges. As I lead these petition debates often, I always look at the argument from both sides. For every petition, there is always an opposing view, and it is important to consider all aspects and for everyone's voice to be heard. Cancel culture has no part to play in a healthy democracy. So I have taken the time to speak with not just the petitioners, but also, among others, Asthma and Lung UK and the Ella Roberta Foundation. But let me start with the facts first. Who put this legislation forward and who is in charge of putting these schemes in place? The then Labour government gave local authorities the ability to charge road users in Part 3 of the Transport Act 2000. And in London, the Mayor was given powers by the 1999 Greater London Authority Act under the same Labour government. The Transport Act gave these powers to local authorities to reduce congestion and to help with air quality. Schemes have now been put in place in London, which has both a ULEZ and a congestion zone. Clean air zones are currently in place in Bath, Birmingham, Bradford, Bristol, Portsmouth, Sheffield and Tyneside. All Labour or opposition-controlled authorities. I am pleased to announce at present that I have reassurances from the Labour Mayor of Doncaster that my city, Doncaster, is not going to be subject to one of these schemes. Pedestrianisation is already doing untold damage to the local economy there, and one of these schemes in my city would surely be the final straw. But let me start with those who oppose the petitioners. Those who think that these schemes are not just necessary, but vital for our country. I met with Tim Dexter and Andrea Carey. Tim works with Asthma and Lung UK. Tim understands that these schemes can cause controversy, but he believes it is not a big issue with the wider electorate. He believes that pollution is too high, and he states that young people are growing up with decreased lung capacity. He also stated that to have clean air in the city and risk losses to business does not need to be an either-or. Tim believes pedestrianisation alongside ULEZ and clean air zones can be shown to increase footfall. For the record, I have not seen today any evidence which supports that. Andrea is the chair of the Ella Roberta Foundation. This foundation is currently supporting the Clean Air Human Rights Bill, also known as Ella's Law. Ella is the young girl that died who lived close to the South Circular. She was diagnosed with asthma when she was 9. Her long walk to school meant she was exposed to car fumes. It was stated on her death certificate that this was a secondary cause. Andrea stated that each year 38,000 deaths will be attributed to air quality and related illness. She also believes that much money is used in treating people with lung conditions, and businesses would benefit with cleaner air, as this would mean employees would take less time off due to ill health. They are fair points. But now I want to speak on behalf of the petitioners. I met with Edward Green, who did have much to say on this subject. Edward lives in London. Edward said of these schemes that they are bad for business, bad for families, increase isolation, a tax against the poor, a cost to freedom, undemocratic, and are an abuse of power. He also stated the scrappage schemes are ineffective. In addition to my evidence sessions, I recently visited Sheffield and Doncaster and asked businesses there what they thought of these schemes. They all agreed with Edward. One contractor in Sheffield said he had 20 vans on a construction site, and therefore it was going to cost close to £50,000 this year in extra fees due to the scheme that was introduced in Sheffield earlier this year. Every construction site in every one of these cities with such schemes will now be facing similar issues. These costs, as we all know, will eventually be passed on to the public. Us, me,